All right, everybody, welcome back here to High Button Sports as we get set for another one here. Game 2 of the day, this one between the first placed seeded Bandits taking on the Cougars. So, two teams that have had some good matchups throughout the regular season. But now it's time to go for when it really counts, the round robin here at Provincials, as we'll start right off and get into it. So that puck picked up along the end boards. Grabbed there by Hunter McLean. He's going to feed that back in behind for Normore. Played over to the left side, looking to get it up. Brian picks it. Brian up to Johnson. And Brian got hit there, and he's slow to get up behind the play there. Really slow. And he's labored heading off here, so they're going to have to send someone out. Brian, who had probably his best game of the year, one of his better games of the year yesterday in that first game of the day, now heads off less than a minute into this one. So that line of Hunter McLean, Johnson, and Brian were clicking yesterday. Some great secondary scoring, but we'll have to keep an eye there. All right, so puck worked back to McPhee. McPhee fans on it as it rolls off over to Duffy there on the left side. Duffy has to hustle down for it, so Duffy and McPhee paired up. Usually the Bandits pretty free-flowing with their D pairings, and these two together here. Obviously, Quentin Land still missing. I don't see O'Leary out there either. That's sent in low and will be covered up just a minute and 5 seconds in. Face-off will be down here in the Bandits' end. The Cougars last night ended up beating the Whalers after kind of chasing the game a little bit. They were down for a large portion of the game, and the Whalers played pretty well, but Cougars using that star power on offense, able to break through enough times to come up with the victory, but don't know if that was their total game. Obviously still missing Jax Guinness, their star defender. That one picked up by Gillis. Gillis up ahead. Sinclair picks it off and, pardon me, tries to leave the lead pass for Charlie McLeod. Picked up over to Carver. Carver on it there on the right side. O'Coin cuts it off. It's sent back in behind. Normore to Hickey. Normore forced back in. Gillis spun around. Picked up now, and the Bandits trying to work it out to their own end. Grabbed here by Surrett. Surrett enters. Surrett, lone man down low as they're trying to get some players changed off. Van Polgees will join the fray, and now everyone will be in for the Bandits. Fenwick McLean pokes at it. Surrett back to the line. Shot low as it rolls off into the corner. Fenwick McLean picks that, and it's loose there in front. Still Van Polgees, one whack at it, still loose. It's on the right side. Ref did a good job of not blowing that whistle. Well done for that, because that was a big fray. Easily could have called it, but let it go in because the puck was loose and will continue on. Hickey lays a hit there on Andre. Opens up a bit of time as they work it out now down the left side. Pfeiffer, pressure on from Johnson there on the left side. Pulled out and behind, and now Cougars head back the other way. Hackle looks to cut it off. Duffy gonna shoot that one back in behind. In along on the end boards, Cougars pick it up. Ricochets off a stick and heads in to the benches here. So Bandits down a man here early. On forward. Picked up on the right side. Hackle goes in, tries to tie that. Linesman staying put there. Holding his ground. Comes back by Duffy. Puck goes wide. And in behind, Andre loses a stick, allowing Duffy to pick up and have his time with it. Gets it over to McPhee, and then it's worked up the right side. Grab now. Up through the middle, trying to go around. Hackle, he'll chase after that. Grabbed on the right side. Chipped in behind. Grabbed by Frugier now. Frugier spinning onto the stick of Carver. Carver centering pass. That's going to split the D and head on back. Hickey first to it. Hickey Passes that across. Pass connecting over to McLean now. And it looks like Brian is out there, so good to see because he went down. Looked to be in a lot of pain there, but all right now, so getting that player back. Down low to O'Coin. He'll play it over to the right side. A little ricochet pass. Picked up now. Here come the Cougars. Just on soft side, and it was close, I would to say. Just on if they made it, but no dice there. And 4 minutes in, we'll have the face-off here in the neutral zone. Pretty tame back and forth for the first 4 of this game. Both lines will stay out there. McPhee, one back and a lead pass to Johnson. He does a good job corralling it, trying to go to the outside, cuts to the inside and can't pick it up on the other side, in front there, and it was a close one with a good little burst of speed. Cougars pressure and then just ricochet that back. McPhee gonna chase it, and that'll be an icing as we'll head into the Cougars end here. 2 1-0 teams facing off after our last game, which saw the Bombers get the victory over the Novas, making them 1-1. So that'll even things out a little bit in the middle of the standings. Whoever wins this game, obviously in a good spot. No one with 2 wins yet. Chopped in, 1 forward off Brian into the right side. Hunter McLean with a little pressure. That'll bounce on back. In behind for Normore. No ice there as Normore picks it up. Bouncing in on the end wall over to Hickey. Hunter McLean coming in to try to help out. Cougars pick it up, however. Centering pass on the stick to Sinclair. Couldn't get all of it as Hickey does a good job of breaking that up, but Tucker Sinclair, great player out there, knows where to be in front of the net. Just like that, has the puck on his stick in the slot, and that's the risk you run with Sinclair, as he can really set himself up in a good position, and playing on that line with Charlie McLeod all season long. Tons of chemistry formed there for their top line. Here on the left side, picked up Carver. Into the feet, man down, and Carver, both arms go up by the refs. And a penalty coming here. You need Tate. Heating and Plumbing power play on the docket here as the captain heads off for the Bandits. And the Cougars will have our first man advantage of the game here. Face off here to the left side. So 10 minutes flat left to go here in the first. And our first power play of the game. Burham plays that in behind. Maidment gets a whack at it. Fenwick going to be the one man in on Burham, but it gets knocked around to Sinclair. He looks for a lead pass over here to the left side. Normore elects to take the body, and it's sent back in behind for Hickey. In along the end boards, Hickey battling with it. Sinclair back in behind, and a nice stick there by Maidman as he opens it up, and he has Fenwick, if he can find him, one-on-one back the other way for the top scorer in the league, and he goes down and draws a penalty himself. And Fenwick will cancel that one out with the tripping call, and a nice little lead pass off the turnover by Maidman created that play. There was a point in the year where Maidman was playing on the line with Hunter and Fenwick McLean earlier in the season. And Maidman showing his versatility as a winger in that spot between two big guys who know how to put the puck in the net and can use that size to the advantage. Maidman a little bit smaller, but like I said, shows his versatility as a winger, and now out there playing in the PK situations as well. So good year there for number 9. That one played in front. Duffy was down low on the 4-on-4, and that was dangerously close. As kind of snuck out in front. Johnson in along the end wall. 2 minutes for Burnham. Up through the middle, 4-on-4. Here comes Dunn offside. And still trying to get our feet under us in this one. As Couple offsides and a couple penalties to start out before we see any grade A chances. Reminder, the grade A chance is a shot that has a 25% chance of, or higher, of going in. Haven't seen any of those yet. That one back and behind for Normore. Normore gets it off to Hunter McLean. Hunter holds, little dish pass, back to Normore, intercepted Sinclair. Now Sinclair down the left side. Sinclair tries to get the pass off, and Hickey with another great play, taking it away from Sinclair. So those two might be battling through this game if the first half of the period's any indication. Johnson steps in, shot rolls off the stick and into the mesh. And great maneuvering there by Sinclair to try to get it down the left side, but like I said, Hickey with a cutoff play, and that's twice where Sinclair's been doing the things we know Tucker can do. Both times have been stopped in the tracks. So line change here for the 4-on-4, 21 seconds until it heads into a power play for about 40 seconds for the Bandits. Picked up back and behind, a little ricochet pass, beautifully sent to Gillis, but Duffy, the lone man back. Gillis on the right side, pulls in. A little too far ahead of that one. Chased after by Fenwick, and it gets played in behind for Duffy. Duffy holds up, gets it to McPhee. McPhee back as they look to get the power play unit out here now for 40 seconds. Duffy hands off to Fenwick. Fenwick moving up to the middle, onside. Maimon on the right side. Fenwick shot, blocked before it could get through. Grabbed again by McLean. He stick handles comfortably. Plays it down into the corner for Carver, who's fresh out of the box and back onto the ice. Over here to the right side is the Ian Tate Heating and Plumbing power play, about to stop here with 14 seconds for the Cougars. Can they break through? Duffy into the middle. McLean shot off a shin pad. Duffy keeps it in. Duffy plays it off to Alistair. McPhee back to the line. Fenwick gets it to Duffy, back to 5-on-5. So nothing going for the power plays early in this one. That one's sent in wide, halfway through the first period now. McPhee steps up on the boards, keeps it in. As Burham tried to break through there. Low shot, steered aside comfortably. Back along into the end boards. Maidman's going to pick that up. Over to Fenwick. McLean on the left side. Fenwick shoots it stopped. Back down to McPhee. McPhee fires a hard pass, and now a sustained pressure here, moving it around the offensive zone. 5-on-5 for the Bandits. Carver down low. Back to Normore. Big Normore from the line. Tipped. That one almost made it through, but at the last moment into the left corner. Back up the wall again. Carver plays it to the line. Normore sends it around. Maidman's going to have to chase. McPhee's going to go down as far as the hash marks, then pull back. Maidman, though, creates the turnover himself. That one will jump the stick and be heading down for an icing on a longer segment of pressure here by the Bandits. 6:22 to go in the first. We're back square. Face off down here to the right. His friend of the show, Scott McPhee, goes and collects that puck. Couple pucks already going out of play here, a few minutes in. I'm not going to complain, though. No mesh for our stream. Means it's a good day. Back and behind. Surrett with a little pressure in along the end boards. Cougars work it out, try to find Laporte on the right side. Normore with a low shot, steered aside. Caught up to by McQueen. McQueen dishes it back over to Laporte. Stopping up into the middle. Off the stick, nice job. Laporte stays with it. Normore trying to move and shake around. Tied up through the middle, and that will fall back in behind for Hickey. Hickey picks it up. Over to Johnson. Johnson takes a beat here, steps back. Johnson with the A, picking up some speed in through the middle. Still has that on the stick, hands off to the left side. Surrett on the backhand, though, as he'll look to touch pass, turned over to McQueen. Backing around here on the left side. Cougars step up. Liam McLeod, he works it over. Picked up, trying to ricochet that up the boards. A little pressure on McLeod again. Gets him behind to Gillis. Gillis spinning, Hackala. Hackala back to Gillis. Arm goes up, is now another penalty coming here, this time to the Cougars. Sent down No ice. Actually, it isn't ice. Yeah, I was going to say. Late one, though. And a cross-checking the call. So an Ian Tate plumbing and heating power play coming up here for the Bandits as they look to break through first. Pretty solid back and forth here to start. Maybe a slight edge to the Bandits in terms of getting offensive pressure, but a couple looks from Sinclair really evens up the chances, as no fantastic chances for either side really yet. Face-off, gotta come outside. So the rare face-off in the neutral zone on the power play because it was sent down on an icing by the Bandits, I suppose. You learn something new every day, I guess. Might have known that, but forgot about it until right now, but fair enough. Back here to McPhee. McPhee makes sense, right, I guess? But for the most part, those face-offs happen in the offensive zone off a power play 99.9% of the time. In along the end boards, Hunter McLean with a little pressure. Trying to steal that puck away. Bandits like to get this thing moving on the power play. It's over to Fenwick. Fenwick steps in, shot that one. Whips off the stick, but a save made. Up the wall, it'll roll by. McPhee gets it to McLean, bounces off a Hunter's stick. Up the wall, cut off there by Fenwick. Pressure here down low. McPhee picks up over to Carver. Carver, dump and chase there. A minute gone on the power play already, and not much going for the Bandits here. McPhee back into the end boards. He'll survey. Hands up the right side. Hunter McLean brings in over the blue. Hunter stops up, swings that around to Normore down along the end boards, hits the side of the net. 44 seconds on the power play. Second unit out there. And a good kill here for the Cougars. Bandits will hold. Hickey picks it up in behind. Hickey moves it over to Duffy. Puck gets over to Bryan. Onside, as that's fired in along the end boards. Johnson steps up on it. Maidment in along that end wall. Maidment comes up with it. Into the feet there, Johnson. Johnson spinning around. Johnson back to Duffy. Duffy over to Johnson on the left side. 3 seconds to go on the power play. One shot, and they score. Johnson with a power play marker right as the time was winding down. Moving it around well on the left side. Gets that puck back and shoots it right through him. And JJ buries the power play marker. And that'll be 1-0 for the Bandits. It's a 3:06 to go here in the first. Face off will head back to center. And I'm interested to see if they call it a power play as the last second was ticking out. Bryan now passed across. Johnson again tries to move that ahead. Maidment, sorry. Down the right side. That way, a good burst of speed there as Osmond heads to the net. Hit before it can get to him. Up through the middle, Bryan. Bryan picks it up. So I don't think they called it a power play marker. It was close. Johnson with a big hit down the middle. And he's buzzing out there. A goal and a big hit on his last 2 shifts. In along the end wall. 2:24 to go in the first. McPhee wraps that around to McLeod on the opposite side. Coming in with some pressure. It's sent down into the end boards. Fenwick picks up on that. Pressure still. McLean comes out with it. He'll drop that pass over. Hickey on the left side. Hickey pulls it in tight in towards the middle, trying to get the shot off, but inside 2 minutes, the save will be made. Make sure that you're checking in with everyone here on High Button as we are still covering the U13 AAA over there in Spring Hill as they look for a champion. And starting up today, also the U18 AA in Port Hood. So that'll be starting at the Almaguinnis Arena today as well. So 3 big-time provincials happening on High Button in our last week of the year for winter hockey. It's crazy to think. Feels like just yesterday we were starting out, figuring out who weighed who, how these teams are gonna set for a big year in the U15 league. Last year, the Gulls with a dominating year. The year before, the Rangers. This year, she's been wide open. First place has switched a few times. The Bandits with a couple big wins near the end of the season to lock up that spot. But as we say, it doesn't matter until now. And Fenwick McLean goes top shelf on a great dish in front. And that one's deposited, and that'll be 2-0 here with 1:41 to go in the first. Right in front, right spot, right time. Buried. A nice pass out of the corner, just snuck in behind, and we'll head back to center. And a 2-goal lead on the Cougars, and the Cougars got to show something here in the next few minutes. Obviously still plenty of time, but got to get back to playing the game they're comfortable with. High octane, high offense. This will be the last game, to my knowledge, without star defender Jax Guinness, who the only defender, I believe, to crack the top 5 in points this season. He's sitting out for the suspension. That one's picked up by McQueen. Fired in. Kogan gonna cover it up. So Fougier gets the credit for the assist on a great dish in front leading to that goal. And fresh legs coming out for the Cougars. Face off here on the right side. Sinclair on the draw. Sinclair wins it back. Charlie McLeod gives a little flex into his stick there, but it gets worked ahead to Surrett. Surrett shoots, falls into the end board glass, still loose on the corner as Hunter McLean fishes it out, tries to center that puck. Rolls up the right side. Charlie McLeod over the head. Brought back in. Gillis. Gillis shot. Kogan snares that one. We'll get the cover. 1:07 to go here in the first. Cougars will leave their top unit. And then Bandits send out theirs. Maidment, Carter, and Fenwick McLean. Carver gets it back to Normore. Picked up in behind, a lead pass, grabbed by Fenwick. Fenwick over the blue line. Worked into the left side corner, stick goes flying, and without a stick out there, someone, oh, it must have been picked up. Everyone's got him now, and on the offside, can't get that break in sync. 41 seconds to go now in the first. Face off on the opposite side there. Still leaving both lines out. And a long shift for both the top units. Carver holds off his man as that puck rolls over to the right, and now Fenwick bringing it, and Carver hustling hard to the net, trying to deaden that puck into the corner. Carver back to Normore. Normore snaps pass down to the right side. Carver rolls up the skate there. Sinclair. Sinclair now comes out with it. Some pressure on him. Worked into the corner. 19 seconds to go in the period. O'Coin ran off into the wall by Maidment. Grabbed by McLeod in behind for Maidment. Centering pass. Arm goes up. And a penalty coming. Slash here on the Cougars with 8.1 to go. And it looks like the Bandits are going to start the second period on an Ian Tate Plumbing and Heating power play. Face off will be heading down to the right side here, 8.1 to go. Arm heads up. Normore and Johnson come on as the last guys here on the unit. Gonna hold on the right side, back over and looking for a chance. Won't come though, as it comes back to center, and with 1 second to go, that'll finish us out for our first period. So 2-0 Bandits after one, heading to the power play as well. We'll be back for our 20-minute second in a moment. All right, back here with the second period here, starting us out. Fresh 20 on the clock and a power play for the Bandits as they look to go up 3. Hard into the boards there, Liam McLeod. Comes back to the line, McPhee, one-timer by Fenwick. That one rises high. The top of the circle, a long way for that 1T to go. Carver with a low shot, loose in front, tried to get him under the arm. Worked off in the corner for Fenwick. Hunter McLean out there is the third man on the power play now. Sent in the opposite direction. Carver picks it up as the PKers switch. Picked up in behind McPhee. Alistair McPhee snaps pass to the middle. Shot down into the right side. McPhee for the Cougars spinning that around, and Carver probably had a look at that one but gets by regardless. Grabbed now by the Bandits in behind. McPhee holds, passes over to Fenwick. McLean up the right side, knocked off of his stick in a hurry. McPhee into the feet. McLean picks it up over to Carver. Carver on the blue line, passed across, jumps back. Hunter has that fall in behind him and back down the other way, and a chance here. Gillis in behind, shot. Got a great shot off there. It's going to be covered up, and maybe a little mental lapse there by the Bandits as Gillis almost got one of those goals back. Heading off, face-off will be on the left side. Normore up with the they switched him around. I was about to say, it looks like he was up with the forwards, but it's just 3D back there right now for the Bandits, merged in with the forwards, so a little more confusing. Be interesting if they move a D-man into the forward lineup, shuffle them in, but doesn't look like. It looks like they'll keep him on the back end. They just play him as a forward on the power play. End of said power play. So good kill there for the Cougars to start out the period, keep it a 2-goal game. Johnson leads ahead to Maidment. Worked over into the right side corner. Brian going to be on it first. Brian spins back to Johnson. Johnson with a sharp angle shot. Chased after. Maidment tries to center. And the net goes off by a hair. And that'll bring the whistle. Face off. Be down here on the left side. Puck will be dropped back here. Carver in on the wall. Chases in behind. Back to Normore. Normore into Hackala. Hackala plays that to Carver. Chases after it in behind. A coin getting pressured as the Bandits pushing the pace here right now. Still doing so to start the second. coming together pretty nice for that first period. Normore with some pressure gets over and picked up. Lead pass to the middle. That one turned off of the stick and grabbed by Laporte. Laporte just gets rid of it instantly. Back over to the Bandits. Down here in front of us. Puck into the box. You know what I also just noticed? There's no glass in front of the in front of the penalty boxes here. I guess that's kind of rare now that I think about it. Think of it somewhere like the BMO or anywhere like that. They've got glass everywhere but the benches. So here the penalty box wide open. I wonder how many rinks still have that as the case. I'd have to give it a thought. Over here on the left side, picked up to Johnson. Back down into the end boards again, over to Gillis. Gillis picks it up. Van Polgees gets a poke at it. Van Polgees around to the right side, looking for a lead pass. Connects over to Johnson. Johnson brings it in over the red line. Sent into the end boards. Pfeiffer picks it up, turns it back over to Johnson. Johnson looking for Van Polgees. He'll shoot it. And the last second, the blade gets in the way. Nice job by number 8 there, though, to get to an open spot. Had it on the top of the circle there and put the heart and soul into that shot. Ricochets off the blade of a stick and up high. 16:25 to go here in the second. Puck dropped in there. Namath with a little pressure. Comes up the wall by Charlie. Looking for the stick lift. Back in behind for Sinclair. Sinclair breaks into the zone. Gets in behind. Gillis down into the corner. McLean turned over to the middle. An extra push there by Duffy. Back to Duffy. Duffy over to Hickey. Hickey plays it across into the feet of Carver. Sinclair takes a whack at it. Hickey now. Back over to Duffy. Touched up to Fenwick. McLean in the middle. He'll glove that down to himself. A little pressure by Burham. As it plays around into the foot of Gillis, and the Cougars just having a hard time getting anything together right now. Net goes off and the whistle goes. Like I said, the Cougars, well known for moving that puck as a unit, that lethal offense. Right now, can't get the break-in going. Cougars had a great year this year, starting out up there in Cape Breton. Probably third of the year in first place. Eventually falling out of that spot, but pretty much from the first game of the season, people knew this team was going to be legit. And I don't think anyone's surprised to see them here with a victory under their belts at Provincial. McPhee going to pick that up. McPhee forced to head way back. He'll do a circle back. Keeps that on the stick nicely. Pressure, aware of that stick, but able to get it in near the blue line and dump it down. Over to McQueen on the left side. Hit off there. Johnson. Johnson, one of our goal scorers, looks to center that puck. It gets poked back in behind. Normore going to pick it up. So Normore out there with McPhee this time around. The defensive line shuffling continues for the Bandits. That puck goes high over to Bryan into the feet there. Picked up by the Cougars. Dished across, cut off by McPhee, and sent down to the right. Up the wall, Johnson on the cutoff. He will get hit, and that puck frees up, but Laporte skates by it, and the puck goes through the stick. Sent down the right side for the icing. 14:29 to go in the second. And we head down into the Bandits' end with the Cougars looking to sneak one by here, get their momentum rolling their direction. Face-off will be down here to the left. One back, chipped in along the half wall. Fougier with a little whack at it. Fenwick gets sandwiched there, but comes out with the puck. Gives it over to Gillis. Fenwick then laying his own hit, maybe a little frustration in there, and yeah, the arm goes up. And they're gonna get him on the head contact. As number 10 can do a lot of things right out there, but it seems like the hitting catches him up high. Took a couple 4 minutes the other day as well. And that one will be another 4 minutes, so an extended chance here for the Cougars. And a big point here in the second period, 14-12 to go. And a chance to potentially tie this up if everything goes right for the Cougars. Berman in the middle, low shot, steered into the corner. Picked up and set the length of the ice. So the 4-minute head contact penalty there for Fenwick. He's got the last goal. Berman gets it over the left side. Sinclair, he stops up. Sinclair gets pressured by Maidment. Heads down into the corner, Normore. Hard up the boards by Normore. Into the end wall, it's touched back. Lead pass. Connects here on the right side. McLeod in. McLeod into the right corner. Charlie McLeod wraps that one back around. Sinclair stops up. He'll head to the net on the left side. Poking away at it in the feet. Picked up and sent down. Nice play there by Normore. Back in along the end boards as well. And the first unit will head off. McLeod, Sinclair being shut down as it stands right now. Lead pass on, back onto the stick of Duffy and sent right back in. Minute 20 gone in the power play. Down to O'Coin. He stops up. Spinning, gets it to Berman. Berman's seen lots of minutes on the back end. They're down a few guys there, so the defense gonna see the ice quite a bit here for this game. In on the right side, McQueen comes out with it. McQueen back to the blue line. Steps in, shot. Cogan, pardon me, reads that one. Gets the whistle, 2:08 to go on the power play. 12:20 to go here in the second. Face-off will be here on the left side, and they'll send the first unit back out again. So McLeod, Sinclair rejoin the fray. Drop down there, Normore with a little pressure into the corner on Sinclair. Nice job playing it back to the line, but fumbled and sent in around. Charlie McLeod's gonna have to circle back. Charlie picking up speed in through the middle, over to the left side, trying to get on the outside. It'll head over to O'Coin as it rolls the boards. O'Coin down to Sinclair. Sinclair, bounce pass in behind, picked up. Nice job there by Hickey as he gets an active stick going, stops that play in its tracks. Left side across, shot, and Andre had a great look at it. Couldn't line up that stick on puck, but got the chance they were searching for. Sent the length of the ice now. Johnson sends it in with the stick. Buys about 2 seconds of time there on the stick play on the end boards. Sinclair on the left side. Sinclair back to the blue line. That puck picked up over to the right side. No look for the one-timer, but steps in with a shot, hits the side of the net. Cogan read it well, but there was some net shootout there for McLeod. First power play unit heads off again for the Cougars. 43 seconds left to go in the Fenwick penalty. Cougars from the back end. Berman brings it in over the blue line. Berman, shot, bounces off the end wall. McQueen wraps that around. 25 seconds. Fenwick asking coach where he should go. McPhee out there, shot high. Huntsey says head out there, so Fenwick will rejoin, and now another penalty coming, this time on Hackala. So as one ends, another stays, and that'll be another Ian Tate plumbing and heating power play coming with 10:28 or 10:26 to go in the second. 14 seconds left on that first power play, so 5-on-3 for 14 seconds. And we do know that the Bandits have had trouble with penalties this whole season, and they can find themselves getting into penalty trouble quite easily. But right now they gotta come up with something. There's another 5-on-3. They had a good 4-minute kill there. Cogan's gonna jump out. They gotta come up with something though, as a good 5-on-3 kill, but if you keep this marching band going, it's only a matter of time against this sort of offense. Norrimore will head out and take McPhee off here on the 5-on-3 PK. One down here to Sinclair. Sinclair, 5 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Shot, save made by Cogan as he gets the initial one off the pass. And then McLean out of the box, would have been off to the races. Couldn't get it through. Cougars now in behind. Picked up over to Berman. Berman gets it over to the left side. Sinclair back to Berman. Berman over to McLeod. McLeod holds, shot into the glove. Save made, 1:25 to go. And Cogan with 3 or 4 covers in the last couple minutes, helping his team kill off this penalty. Berman, and face off here on the right side. Back to Berman. Berman hands off to Sinclair. Sinclair on the left side. Hickey gets the stick in on it. Bandits wanted a trip on that one, won't get it. Cougars working in behind. McLeod back to Berman. Down to McLeod. He'll circle around the end boards. Picked up. Hickey staying with it. 58 seconds left to go on that second penalty there to Hackala. Up through the middle, and Carver grabs it at just the right time with no room to spare. It could have been a one-timer in front, but it's cleared out the other direction, and Bryan with some hard pressure. Bryan killing it off, freeing up that puck for Carver to jump on. 37 seconds to go on the power play. Collision in behind, and now it'll be a penalty as Bryan draws a call. That one an interference. So 4-on-4 here. And 31 seconds on that penalty. It'll be 4-on-4 for 31, and then it'll be a man advantage for the Bandits after killing off 2. Back to the line. Played off to Hunter McLean. Hunter McLean in behind for Johnson. Johnson gets it back to the line. Duffy holding. Duffy hands it off to the left side. Gillis trying to get that through. 4-on-4 here, still for 16 seconds. Back to Duffy. Duffy hands it off to Gillis. Gillis with a low shot. Kicked aside. Trying to jump up on that. Nice job by Johnson to hold the line. It eventually will come out there. Hunter McLean on a circle back now to the power play. Is Hackala comes out, and Fenwick McLean comes on. Johnson, he'll pull back. Johnson, left side, gets it to Fenwick. Fenwick stepping it, low shot, tries to put that one 5-hole. It's steered into the right side corner. So from 6 minutes of power play time to the PK, interesting middle to this period. Fenwick with a shot and rebound, left side, scores. Buried off the rebound. And the Bandits will go up 3 on the Cougars. Finished off in front. And that one's Gillis with 8:01 to go. And now the Bandits remain in control with another one. Great initial shot there by Fenwick, but a great finish. And a couple head taps there for Gillis as gets that rebound, and now it'll be down the right side. Fenwick steps in again with a shot. That one steered aside. And a nice save there in net And a bounce back save that's needed, and now the Cougars are feeling like they need the next one here. Gotta make this a 2-goal game before the end of the second. 7:23 to go in the second period. Down the right side, shot, that one hits the post. Steps in with a nice shot, back to Hickey, and the Bandits with momentum here. Right side, shot, pushed into the corner. Fenwick pulls it back over to Hickey. Hickey there with an active stick, but Cougars will pick up on it. Left side, that one's flicked on down. Normore calls for the icing, and the ref will agree as we head back down. 7:17 to go, and the first unit will come back on for the Cougars. Face-off will be here on the right corner. Up through the middle, catches off Sinclair. It will be a foot race to it, McPhee and Sinclair. Sinclair gets there first, McPhee tries to read him. Sinclair, a great battler, especially for his size, as creates that. Stick kind of gets up high, but we're okay. No penalties after quite a few in the middle of this period. Picked up, played across McQueen. Back in through the middle. It'll be flicked up by McPhee into the bench there. And Berman and McQueen getting lots of play back there, I was mentioning. Playing with a shorter bench. I believe they got back one player today on the Cougars side. It's a little tougher for me to remember the teams I don't see as often, but I do know one thing. Berman and McQueen, along with O'Coin and the other defender, as I try to see that name bar, have seen a lot of ice here, and now it'll be fed up to Fenwick, and it's Pfeiffer, the last man, and scores! What a snipe by Fenwick McLean. Steps in with an absolute laser, and that's how you put up 50 goals in the U15 league, and that'll even get a smile on his face. Usually a pretty quiet, conservative guy out there on the ice, not one to show emotion, but holy. That one, if there's anything past bar down, he just did it, cuts to the middle, and you hear the snap that post, and fair play to Fenwick McLean, who's putting together a nice game here again. And he'll head to that puck first, get it on the board, centering pass, shot, and they score again. Carver buries it, and now the Bandits are suddenly up 5-0 with 6:17 to go in the second. Carver gets on the board, and you know he's a goal scorer as well. He wanted to break through, but another dish from number 10, and that'll be 5-0 here on the Cougars, and I don't know if anyone saw this one coming, and a timeout called on the Cougars bench as they'll head over, and the rare timeout in the second period. There's no goalie in the league that's going to be stopping that first shot, though, so you're not going to be saying anything to a goaltender, but locked in here. And a big swing of momentum halfway through the second. Puck came down. Fenwick was on it first, snapped in front. Carver just sneaks it by the pad. And a reminder, if you guys want to go back and kind of re-watch plays, if you're on a computer, you can click the left arrow there on the keypad, and that'll take you back about 5 to 10 seconds. You click that a little bit, and you can go back and rewatch the goals. Or if you're on an iPad or an iPhone, then you can just click on the left side of the screen. It'll do the same job. And you can go back and maybe watch the last few seconds as 5-0 now for the Bandits. 6:17 to go as the Cougars are going to go back and give the goalie a tap on the pads and try to reset here. And now for the Cougars, it just starts with one. Bandits have been put together a pretty complete game here so far, but I'm not going to count out a team that had 3 of the top 10 goal scorers in the league. Andre works it in, he'll fan on it and try to get that puck in deep. A weird second period here that had 6 minutes of power play time for the Cougars that led into a power play for the Bandits, and then 2 late goals here. maybe even been 3 late goals. Back to Johnson. Hunter McLean now puts it through. No one home on the other side of it. Back to Brian and Maidment, who we were talking about earlier this game, getting in on it on that last goal. Brian has it fall off of his stick, wanted a call. Not gonna get one as it falls in behind. Cougars to it first, played in there. Grab down low and some pressure by Hunter McLean. McQueen picks it up. McQueen getting pressured by Johnson as the full court press continues. Here from the Bandits late in the second period, passed off to Duffy. Duffy winds up with a shot, that one off the mark by about a meter to the left. Picked up Cougars now in behind. That's gonna wrap up the right side boards to McLeod. McLeod catching up, some pressure by Hunter McLean. McLeod cut off, and now McPhee picks it up. McPhee coming in with numbers. He'll just dump that into the left corner. Maidment skates after it. In along the end board. Caught up to by Hakala. Sends around for McPhee. Into the right side corner. Alistair McPhee for the Bandits coming in. The pinch from the D-man. Frugier covers, but then he'll return to his post. Lead pass over here by the Cougars. Looking for Charlie in the middle. McPhee cuts it off. Heads back, and now a chance down here on the right side. Sinclair trying to center it. 4:14 to go here in the second. McPhee steps up. Right side, shot, blockered away. Rolls onto the stick there, Frugier. Frugier gets it back to Hakala. That's going to stay in on that tall glass and behind the net. Grabbed by the Cougars. Up the left side, lead pass hits the stick of Sinclair, bounces back. Here to Gillis. Gillis up to Hakala. He'll take a bump. Frugier battling for it with McLeod. Comes back to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer onto the stick. Nice job by Laporte to catch that on the backhand. I don't know if that's luck or skill. If it's skill, impressive. If it's luck, well done, I guess. We'll go with skill. Tough to catch that puck in behind and slow it down off a pass through the middle. Berman picks it up. Berman down the right side. He'll try to get a lane. Draws the penalty and a shot. Gets off on Kogan. Another shot on the rebound. And now it'll be to the power play on the slashing call. 3:16 to go in the second. And now the Cougars a chance to at least break through and try to get some positive momentum heading into the third. Two minutes on the board for that penalty. PK unit out there. Looks like the secondary power play unit to start out. Berman gets that over to Sinclair. No, Sinclair's out there, so it's the first unit. My mistake. Up through the middle, back to Berman. Berman down to Sinclair. Passed out in front, try to thread that needle through. Picked up here by Van Polgeest, a staple on the PK unit for the Bandits. Is that sent in behind? So Gillis, a goal and a penalty here in the second. Just needs an assist for the old school Gordie Howe hat trick. We'll call it the minor league Gordie Howe hat trick, as I don't think they're going to let them fight out here at 14. That one shot, scores. So Sinclair breaks through with a power play goal late in the second. And that'll put his team on the board. And like we said, it's all about positive momentum when you're down 5. And that'll at least bring it to a 4-goal lead here after a flurry of goals earlier. They get one back. And we'll head back to center and continue on here. Okay, 2:27 to go in the second. Remember, 10-minute break after this second period. Up through the middle. McLeod gonna get in on it, so the duo connects late in this second period. Up the wall to McLeod again. Over to Carver. Carver down to Fenwick McLean. Fenwick lays the hit. Picked up on the left side. Gets the pass off, centering pass, looking for another one. Carver plays onto the right side. 2 minutes to go now. Shot from the point, kicked aside. Fenwick jumps on that again, plays it into the end boards. Pressure there. McLeod's going to come in and pick that out for the Cougars. McLean picks it up though in front. Maidman with a low shot, looking for the rebound. Carver with the wraparound attempt. Stopped in his tracks. Saw a moment there. A roadmap, some would say, to the back of the net. Stopped though. Pass up the middle and a great interception by McPhee. A little too much speed coming into the zone, but because of that change, two Cougars players were off to the races if that got past number 4 there. 80 seconds left to go in the second. 5-1 our score. Face off here on the right side. Sorry, left side in the neutral zone. Pulled back to Duffy. Duffy gains the red line. In along the end board, it's going to be touch pass in there. Hunter McLean trying to get in on the fun as he creates a turnover and a player down there in the middle, but no call as I think the stick got up on Brian. Back down for McPhee. Up to the middle, Johnson. Some of the parents aren't too happy here. Didn't quite see it. I think it was behind the play. McPhee plays over to Duffy. The refs missed it, and so did I, so it must have been behind the play there. Brian also one to kind of hang back and create that last second turnover, so not surprised to see him kind of as the last man back there. Stick still on the ice there with 30 seconds to go. Cougars flip it up through the sky, hits the skate of Gillis. Poked out once, Pfeiffer avoids the hit. Back in behind for Burman. Burman up the left side. In and brought down, 13 seconds to go. Shot and a nice save there as, oh no, are they gonna get him on a goalie interference with that? Oh, all right. That's, surprised to see that one called as kind of just had one little whack at it with the stick, which is typically allowed. And a power play coming here for the Bandits. So an Ian Tate Plumbing and Heating PP with 10 seconds left to go in the second. So the stick comes back for Brian, and coach not happy about that no call, but I guess the refs perhaps maybe trying to catch up to it with that last penalty on the goalie interference. 2 seconds to go before the end of the period, and that will do it. So 5-1 for the Bandits at the end of 2, our biggest lead so far of the weekend. We're going to be back here in a moment with the third period, but a 10-minute break before we get there. My name's Jeff Warburton, signing off here for the second period. We'll be back in a everybody. We are back here with our third period of play. Minute and 50 seconds of power play time for the Bandits to start. And it's a 5-1 game after a pretty crazy second period. Lots of penalties, lots of goals. Back and forth, but the Bandits getting the edge there and playing a pretty complete game here, trying to finish it out here in the third. All right, picked up here on the right side, Carver. That played off, back to Norrimore. Norrimore in the middle, down across, and a hard pass there by McLean, and it'll be covered up on the left side as Alistair McPhee tries to get in on the fun, the D-man. 40 seconds in, so still a minute and 12 to go in that power play. So a late goal for the Cougars did put them back within the hypothetical striking zone, and a kill here and then a quick goal would really put them back into this game, but we'll see how the next minute plays out. Carver over to the left side, McPhee. McPhee walks in on the blue line, hands it down to Fenwick McLean. Fenwick moving out, gets it to Carver. Carver kind of fumbles that one as it heads back in behind, gets past the skate of McPhee, and now the arm goes up off a trip there, and that'll cancel out the power play as Alistair McPhee headed to the box on a head contact call there. So that'll cancel it out, and it'll be a Ian Tate Plumbing and Heating power play after 46 seconds, but for right now, 4-on-4 action at the start of the third period. So after this game, it'll be the Gulls and the Bearcats going at it. Gulls and the Bearcats going to be playing at what would be noon. And the 1-0 Gulls against the 0-1 Bearcats. So if you were looking for maximum chaos, you're hoping for a churro win there. Norrimore back in behind, gets it over to Hickey. Hickey picks it up, looking for a lead pass to Johnson. It's into the feet. Gillis picks it up. Little lead ahead again to Sinclair. He'll get tied down. Norrimore gets that off the hop. Norrimore with a lead again up there to Maidment. Berman gets that across. Sorry, McQueen. And that's a 4-minute head contact on McPhee. So after the 14 seconds, it'll be an extended power play and a great chance for the Cougars. Shot from the point, that one wide and behind. Maidment tries to get the sharp angle. Won't go as it's in the right side corner. Johnson with a little pressure as well, getting tied up on it. Sinclair gets that pass off, so 3 minutes of power play time now for the Cougars. Shot, Cogan makes the save. McQueen gets that pass across. McLeod steps in, shot, misses the mark. It'll head down into the left corner with Sinclair. A little pressure, comes back to Berman. Berman back to Sinclair. Pass across and rolls off the stick of McLeod, and a nice dish there from Sinclair. Had eyes for the back of the net if that one would have went clean off the blade. Shot from Gillis. Bounces into the right side. Hickey gonna pick it up, try to clear it. Kept in, pass across Sinclair, just in behind. Stick lift down there. Andre getting worked in along the boards. Norrimore going in as well. Gillis gonna be the man to try to dig it away. They blow the whistle, and I don't really know if that's fair game. Are they blowing the whistle because they lost sight? I guess, but you're killing a penalty. You probably should have a pretty long leash along your own end boards. And I think Huntsy agrees with me as he looked skyward. But they get the whistle, and they're gonna have to try again here. First unit gonna stay out for the Cougars. And perhaps this first unit struggling a little bit because they're missing Guinish. Like I said earlier, their star defender who pretty much quarterbacks the power play, so you take him out of it. Definitely a lot for the other defenders to adjust to. Sinclair fans on that, gets that into the left corner, spun out of it. Picked up, back to Berman. Berman gets enough of it to keep it in, but it's into the corner. Duffy with a fake shot. Nice job there, buying some time. Picked up and cleared off the glass Nice play there by Duffy. Berman picks it up. Drops off. McLeod over to Sinclair. Sinclair over through center. Back to Berman. A little pressure here by Johnson as he looks to put it on. 1:40 to go in the power play. Backing around here for the Cougars. McLeod finding a lane up through the middle. Left side, holding, toe dragging around, loses it at the last moment. Picked up in a wide open ice to clear down there as they'll get that puck sent in low. 16 minutes left to go here in the third as a pretty rapid start to our third period here. Lead pass connects with Dunn. Dunn's gonna try to get it up through the right side. Picked up Laporte. Laporte steps back. Fougier is able to strip that puck back to the middle of Coyne. Chop that, and now Hakala. Hakala gonna bring it in. He gets ahead. Hakala looking for the break, and he gets tied up. So close to a breakaway for 18 out there, shorthanded. Sent in around. Norrimore in on the end boards. Hits the boards. Comes back in for Laporte. Laporte on the right side. Laporte drops back to the blue line. From the blue line, shot high. That's going to wrap around over to Dunn. Dunn worked in against the word there by Hakala. Dunn into the corner on the left side. Centering pass past the stick of Laporte. Trying to deposit that one into the back of the net. Coyne picks it up. Only 17 seconds left on the McPhee penalty. Gets over to the right side and into the end boards for Duffy. Duffy picks it up off the one hop and will rifle that out. No icing as 6 seconds remain on the power play, but another kill there by the Bandits, and they'll remain up 4 with 14:51 to go. Back in behind. That one's sent down for the icing. And we'll head back into the Cougars end at even strength for the first time in a little while here. Face off coming. Bryan wins it back to Duffy. Duffy shoots, bounces back in behind. Passed out in front. Surrett has an angle shot off the post. Surrett hung back in behind and came right to him on a good play by the Bandits unit on the left side. Picked up in behind by Liam McLeod. Pass up to Andre. He'll go for a skate. Good wheels here down the middle. Andre to the left side. Run off into the left side boards. Coming in to help. Free puck for a moment into the feet now. Van Polgeest going to pick it up. Van Polgeest over the red line. Now the blue line. In towards the middle. Andre now with numbers, and it's a 3-on-1. Headed back the other way. Brought in. White shot. Misses the mark as couldn't get that one on the platter we like to talk about. That silver platter. Not quite there. Sent in behind for the icing. And it seems like the Bandits coaches are getting a little frustrated with the reffing here. Feeling like they missed a couple. Bad taste in the mouth off the Bryan no call near the end of the second period, which was determined to be, at least what I was told, a spear. So who knows? There was no call on it, and since then the Bandits coaches have seen a little testy here with the refs. But at the end of the day, up 5-1 here with 13:33 to go. So they'll continue to do what they do. Pass out in front. It was a hot shot that hit the stick of Carver and went by. Gillis now trying to split the D. Norrimore comes back, uses the physicality to come up with it. Left side trying to get it up the wall in behind McLean. Carver now picking it up. Carver stick lifted. Carver back over for Fenwick. He has Maidman in front. Fenwick holds. Can't get that pass through as he's spun out. Maidman on the left side. A little pressure on McLeod. McLean comes out with it. He has got Carver in front. Setting up. Carver shot right in the bumper position. Knows exactly where to go when he sees Fenwick chasing that puck. Norrimore into the right side corner. Carver. Pressure down there along the wall. Norrimore flips it over to McLean. In the feet of Fenwick. Played down to Carver along the end boards. Centering pass hits the stick. McLeod. Back to Norrimore. Touched over. Slapped down by Fenwick as they'll get a change. 12:22 to go here in the third. Trying to catch the Bandits off guard on the change. Won't really work as it's sent back in behind for McPhee. Long segment without a whistle here as we roll along in our third period. Slapped in by O'Coin. Picked up off the end board, looking for the wraparound. Comes over to McPhee. McPhee back in behind for Duffy. Duffy over there on the right side. McLean over into the feet of Johnson. Can't catch it cleanly, so it'll be sent back down. Cougars move it back in behind. Johnson grabbing. He'll circle back on the left side, just out of the reach of Hunter McLean. Longtime teammate of McPhee. Back in behind as well. McPhee into the corner. Dunn takes a hit. Back to the line it comes. Shot from the point. Sent in and a save made off the McPhee shot. 11:26 to go here in the third. Face off in the Bandits' end. Pack one forward there. Gillis gonna circle back. Gillis looking for a lead pass. Stopped there near center and chipped down the wall. Bandits back to McLeod. McLeod in behind, and Gillis, who was knocked down or something, was right there to pick it up once the clear got sent in. Gillis looking for the lead pass, touched up to Hackala. McLean's gonna pick it up, brings it in onside. Tight down here, intercepted. Fenwick now, toe drags around. Down into the end boards, hit laid. There's a collision. Little pressure there on the half wall. Poked back in behind. Norrimore gonna chase. Norrimore back over to Andre. Rushed off there. Fougier gets to McLean. Fenwick up through the middle. Knocked back in on the onside. That one maybe trying to catch Fougier, but Fougier's changing, so icing will go. 10:23 to go in the third. Face off in here to the left. Back to Gillis. Shot rolls off the end of Cogan's pad into the corner. Some good pressure down there. McLeod comes out with it. Spun back, Gillis to the line. Seeing eye shot. Berman gonna pinch up on it, keep it in. Norrimore looks to go up the wall. Sinclair, he takes a sharp angle shot. Surratt keeps it moving forward. The coin ran off into the boards. Poked by Hickey. Lead pass Sinclair. Sinclair stepping in, shot. Back over Hickey. Up the right side, poked at. Up through the middle. Grabbed there by Surratt. Surratt fires it down into the end boards. 9:17 to go here in the third. Puck circles back around again, and a bit of a lull here. Not much going on in terms of chances or action. Poked back. Hits the stick there. Berman gets it up to Dunn. In behind for O'Coin. Slap that. Hits the end wall. Carver. Carver can't cleanly get rid of that one, so it'll be spun back. McPhee, good edges there by McPhee. They're gonna have to tag up for the onside, however. Comes back to Maidment. Collision. Fenwick McLean gonna send that one back in behind, and another long segment without a whistle. into the corner, looking for a centering pass. Comes back to Duffy. Duffy played over on the left, calls for it again. Duffy sends that one up ahead. Back to McPhee. McPhee with a shot from the point. That one made it all the way to the goaltender, but steered aside. Carver, pass across for Duffy as the Bandits set up in the offensive zone. Knocked out once by Maidman. Down the left side wall. Rolls up in behind. Duffy. Spun, hitting the skate and sent down. That one will go for the icing. Face off back here into the Cougars' end. Face off here on the left. Centering pass, shot, and just rolls by the stick of Hunter McLean, who I believe is looking for his first of Provincials. Picked up Johnson. Johnson near the top of the blue line. He got the scoring started for the Bandits in this one. 7:24 to go in the third. Normore keeps the line, still keeping the line, eventually comes out just by a hair. Back and around on the end wall. 7:09 remaining. Ricochet pass. Stopped up there near center. Rolls off the stick. Over to Brian. Brian moving off. Left side. Trying to center that puck. Brian holds, pass through, back to Normore. Shot directly into the shin pad there. Guthrow. Left side shot. Stick goes flying. Hunter McLean back in behind. Gets it over to Johnson. Johnson fakes. Johnson tries to go in tight. Rolls in and they score. Finished off in front. Not sure who's going to get the credit for that one, but it was Barry Owen and unsportsmanlike. Unsportsmanlike at the end of the play. Didn't see exactly why that one came in. Must have, I guess, said something. Certainly wasn't a taunt. Not sure what the deal is here, as they're gonna come to center and a little confusion. They have 6 up on the board, and they certainly called it a goal. All right, so, looks like, so goalie is adjusting the pad, so that might be cause for some of the delay. 2-minute penalty, okay, so yeah, that makes a little more sense. They got McPhee on it, so it'll be a power play for the Bandits. I was gonna say, I didn't see what they did to cause that, but it'll actually be a goal and a power play. So unsportsmanlike on McPhee there. Normore here in front. Up to Hakala, knocked off his stick. Brian from Johnson and McLean down the right side. And that second line, we were talking about the secondary scoring and how much of a difference it can make, and this is a prime example of it. Johnson directly contributing to at least 2 goals, helping extend that lead, 6-1. Down here on the right side, in along the wall, it'll be caught up to, and Cougars now looking to break it out. Normore shot back, looking for a lead pass. McLeod cheating a little bit there, trying to get in behind, get something going for his side. Brings it in himself, but all sorts of pressure as McPhee works him off, loses his stick. And now a holding penalty right in front of the ref. They're going to get McLeod. And things go from bad to worse here for the Cougars late in this game. 6-1 the score. We'll head back in the right direction. So a minute flat of 5-on-3 time now here for the Bandits late. And we are in a tournament, so you know every goal counts in the long run. Going to be trying to fill the net. McPhee going to be the last man sent out there. Fenwick gets a word in with his defender there, even though he's taken his spot there on the line. Switching spots, McPhee and Fenwick. So holding the stick on McLeod. So must have closed the glove on Alistair's stick there. Up the left side here. Speed by Fenwick. He goes to the knees, passes it off. Backhand comes through. Now sent down, length of the ice. Normore going to take his time as they set up here. Up through the middle, Normore. Brought into the right side. He'll take it and fire around the end boards. Hunter McLean with it on the left side. Hunter back to Normore. In the middle, Fenwick, hard slap pass over to Hunter. Back to Carver, who one-times it, and a nice one-timer. Save made, though, as the first Ian Tate Plumbing and Heating power play gonna end. Still a minute left on the second one there. Face-off will be here on the left. Second unit out there now for the Bandits. Picked up in the middle. That one onto the stick there. Johnson toe drags, beauty move. Back to Duffy. Duffy holds, passes across. Johnson, shot by Johnson, grabbed. And number 5 out there is feeling himself. Feels like he can't be stopped. Toe drags, rushes, shots. 4:20 remaining here in the third. Dropped in, that one's one to the left side. Heads on back for Johnson. Johnson stepping up. Down low looking for that return pass on the stick. He'll get knocked down. Duffy can't corral it as it's sent in behind. Picked up now by Hickey. Hickey up ahead. Leading to Duffy. Duffy gonna bring that in. Fired around. Then Polgis gets it. Some pressure there by Dunn. Dunn playing hard, trying to separate man from pockets. Shot down and a little collision there as they bring it in offside. 3:37 to go. 4 seconds on that penalty, so looks like nothing will go on that one, but still 6-1 the score. With the Bandits in control heading down the last few minutes here. Dropped in, hustled after. It's going to be picked up and moved down the left side into the end wall. Cougars come out with it over to McLeod. McLeod gets it down to Charlie McLeod. Picked up Bandits. Normore flips it a little bit up the left. Grabbed here by Frugier. Frugier stepping in with a chance to shoot. Aims high and over to the left side. Bounces back over. Charlie McLeod in behind. Inside 3 minutes to play. Lead pass. Hits the skate of Gillis as he keeps a breakaway from happening the other way. Picked up and sent across. Normore in between the legs and to the end wall. Picked up and just fired back to Gillis. Some pressure coming from White, but McPhee will pick it up. Just shoot it in as his team tags up. Up the wall, Bandits chip in. In along the end boards, a little pressure by Brian. Coming back, pardon me, to McLeod. Charlie McLeod plays it across. White steps in with a shot, save Cogan with the blocker. Jumps up and grabbed by Van Polgeest. Van Polgeest into the left side. Down to the corner. Cougars play with it up through the middle. Guthrow trying to field it. McPhee. Played across. Kept in by Andre. Andre steps into the right side, has a lane. Shot. Cogan gloves that down with 1:42 to go here in the third. As we continue to roll through this one, we'll be back, like I said, at noon with the matchup between the Bearcats and the Gulls. And our only blowout game here so far right now. And the Cougars will get their defender back in Guinish and head back and look to play later tonight. Get another win. I mean, they got the win yesterday, so not a huge deal really right now, but certainly something they're going to have to go study this game. Passed across. That one turned over. Down the right side here, has a lane. Hickey trying to cut off on White. White goes down into the corner. Fielded. Up through the middle. McCoyne shoots it down. Touched back to McPhee, and a penalty coming. Ian Tate plumbing and heating power play with 51 seconds to go. Still waiting to see what the call is. Four minutes for spearing. No one on the ice knows who got it. And it looks like we have found right here. So, Hickey will get a late 4-minute spearing penalty with only 51 seconds to go. And the Cougars will head to a late power play here. Face off on the left side. Dropped in, Normore. Down there in the corner. And just playing the end of this one out. Picked up by Sinclair. Back to Burman. Burman over to Sinclair. Hit there on Sinclair as he gets knocked down by Hackala and sent the length of the ice. 27 seconds. Good hard skate there by Fougere, but Cougars come out with it. Drop back, Sinclair. He brings it in. 15 seconds. Back to the line. Burman rolls up off the stick there. Fougere. And with 9 seconds to go. Chance for McLeod. Shot blocked. And with 1 second left, that'll do it. And a little something back and forth in front, but that is it. So the Bandits come away with the victory here, 6-1, and they'll improve to 2-0 at Provincials here so far. So that'll do it for us here on High Button Sports. We'll be back in about